Welcome back, my dear sweet friends. I hope this video finds you well and your holiday was just amazing. I pray it was filled with lots of peace and joy and just wonderful blessings. We are back today with a new video, and what we want to talk about is the holidays are over. So what can we do right now in regard to the holidays being over to save ourselves some money? And we're going to go over a bunch of hints and tips to do exactly that. My name is Emmy, my husband is Paul, and we are an early retirement, debt and mortgage-free couple living in the state of New York. And basically, we show you how to live a full, abundant life while spending less money. And today's video, I hope, does exactly that. Did you see the sunrise at the beginning of the video? Our sunrises have been spectacular. It's so funny. We get beautiful sunrises in the winter. I know a lot of people, it's like the summer, you watch the sunset and the sunrise. In the Northeast here, it's the winter. We see the most beautiful sunrises. And you know the old adage, pink skies in the morning, sailors take warning. Pink skies at night, sailors delight. Well, we had pink skies this morning, as you saw, and we are expecting some inclement weather, some ice and snow. So we are continuing to hunker down here in the house and just enjoying this time of year. So now let's get right to these tips and hints to help you save money right now. The first little gentle reminder I want to give you is don't forget about your returns. This time of year, we could have gotten gifts that maybe we're not crazy about or maybe didn't fit. So please remember to return these items. If you think you can regift them, that's great. If not, make sure you bring them back, get an exchange or a store credit, whatever they'll give you. Don't just forget about them and leave them laying around. That's just a waste of money. So often we get gifts and we think we're going to return them and, oh, we'll get to it, and then it never happens. Then we lose out on that money or that store credit. So number one, super important thing to do is make sure we get those returns back to the store or back in the mail to the store we bought them from. Another great tip, when you're taking your holiday decor down, organize it. Now, what do I mean organize it? Everybody has containers and bins that they put their Christmas decor in to store. What I want you to do, find some place to write down what's in those bins. I do it in my Happy Planner that I use throughout the year. In other words, let's say we have one bin. We're going to label that bin number 1. And maybe you can tape a little piece of paper that says number 1 on the bin. And then in your planner or in a notebook or wherever you know that you're going to remember to find it for next year, write what is in that bin. Christmas lights, the manger scene, ornaments, whatever it may be. This way, when you're pulling out those bins, you know what's in them and which ones you need to pull out when. I can't tell you how many times we pull out bins of this Christmas decor and that's not the bin I needed. We need the other bin, so Paul's up and down in the attic. Be organized. When you put them away, number your bins and label what is inside every single one of those bins in a spot that you will remember where to look back and read it. Another tip, as you're putting your decor away, look in those bins that you are going to put your decor in. Is there still decor or ornaments or little tchotchkes in that bin that you never put out this year? Do you need to hold on to them? These are things maybe you haven't used in several years, so maybe it's time we go through it, look through that decor you did not use this year. Is it something that still holds value to you? Is it something you still want to keep? Or possibly can you donate it? Can you give it away? This will just free up clutter. Next year, when you take the bin down, the only things in there are going to be things that you want to use and that you truly love. Downsize now. And the place to start is when you pull those bins out to put your decor away, see if there's anything in those bins that you didn't use this year. I know Paul and I have a couple of things that we are getting rid of. A lot of these things have sentimental value, and I understand that. But another thing you can do that I remember reading about years ago is take a picture of that item. If it's something that means something to you, but you don't have a use for it, take a picture of it. This way you'll always be able to look at it. It'll be close to your heart, but maybe somebody can actually enjoy and use that physical item. Number 4, can you reuse anything that you got, whether it be wrapping paper, gift bags that are a neutral color throughout the rest of the year? And I'm always encouraging you to do that. When you pick up wrapping paper or you're picking up gift bags, think of a neutral color like reds or greens or blues or golds that still can be used for the holiday season, but yet can be used throughout the whole year as well. So if you have any holiday bags, wrapping paper, bows, ribbon, whatever it may be, leave those out and use them throughout the year so you don't have to buy any new ones. Number 5, if you put anything on your charge card over the holiday season, double check your credit card statement. There have been so many reports of stores double charging, people stealing credit cards and charging items. People are getting in their credit card statements and there's charges that they have no idea what they're for because they didn't make them. So be on top of your credit card bill. When it comes in, check every single charge and make sure that they were actually done by you. Number 6, if you have any leftover Christmas money in your budget, because I know a lot of us budget a certain amount for Christmas holidays, for food and gifts and all that fun stuff. If you have any money left over, don't think of it as found money. Woohoo! Let's go out, let's spend, da 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 da. No, don't think of it as found money. Put it towards something important. Either put it in the savings, add it to your Christmas money for next year. Put it towards paying down a credit card, something like that. Try to look at that extra money as something that you can use that will benefit you. Sure, it might be fun to go out and just blow it on some silly thing, but in the long run, I think it will be more beneficial to us if we look at that money and put it towards something that will help us. So that's another great one to think about. I want you to also this time of year reevaluate your gift list and your Christmas card list, because now is the time. Are there people that you haven't heard from in years? Are you still sending cards to these people out of obligation or maybe out of habit? Or do you really want to continue sending them? Because people could have moved. Maybe they're trying to let you know, listen, I love your card, but you're not going to get one back from me, which is all fine. It is a personal decision. But at this point, reevaluate your Christmas card list if you send them out. The same thing with your Christmas gift list. Did it all go according to how you wanted it to go? Did you bless the people you wanted to bless? How were your gifts received? Is it something that you would make again? These are all things you want to think about now so that you can go forward for next year having a clear, organized plan of what you want to do. Number 8, I know I touched upon this earlier and I'm going to bring it up again. If you received gifts and you are not using them and you don't want to return them, start that gift closet now. Take any gifts that you got that you're not going to use or you don't want to return and think about regifting them. Who would like them? What event can you use them for? Having a gift closet is one of the greatest blessings. And right after Christmas is a great time to start it with the little gifts you got or your family got that maybe they're not crazy about or can't use, but you know somebody else who can throughout the year. And also with that gift closet, keep a list of what you have. If you put something in that gift closet, write it down. Keep a list just like we do for our freezer inventory and our pantry inventory so you know exactly what is in there. So you're not rummaging through the box. What was in there? What did I have? Be organized, and it will save you money throughout the year. Something else you may want to think about. We're going into a no-spend January. So if I am going to utilize any of those after Christmas sales, we are going to do it sometime this week. This is the time now with those 50% off. You can get your wrapping paper, you can get your cards, you can get your gift bags, decor, whatever you may need for next year. Now is the time to look into buying them. If you're not doing no spend January with us and you are spending into January, you wait a little while and those prices will go down to 75% off, and in some cases even 90% off. We got to do it sometime this week because we're heading into a no spend January. Another thing, the leftovers we have had throughout these holiday meals, we have been freezing or using pretty quickly. I'm going to flip the camera around, show you some of the things we have done with the food that we had left over. Just some simple techniques we use to freeze things. What happens is we had an abundance of goodies coming into the house. Not only our own, but so many blessings from other people. And what we did, instead of just leaving these treats out to keep grazing off of them, which isn't always the best thing, we started packing them up and freezing them. And then for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, we can pull some of them out. Throughout the month of January, we can pull them out and still have some wonderful treats and breads and snacks. I'm just going to turn the camera around, show you a little bit about what we did. We had prime rib Christmas Day, and we had it again in like Philly cheesesteak sandwiches the next day. Now, what Paul did for me is he took the bones. It was a small prime rib. So there were 2 bones off of this, and what I'm going to do is make stock with this. I'm going to make some beef bone broth. And with the extra prime rib, we're going to cut the meat off, and I'm going to take that fat off of it, and then either we will freeze it or use it today because it is the 3rd day and I want to use it up at this point. So this is one leftover I need to use up right away. If you follow me over on Instagram, and you really should because you never know what we're up to, it's one word, Frugal Money Saver. You saw that on Christmas Eve, I made a shellfish sauce to go over our pasta for Christmas Eve, and it had clams, it had calamari, and it had shrimp in it. Immediately after we were done, the extra sauce went into a freezer-safe container, and I froze it immediately. You don't want to fool around with fish or something like that. And we have an entire another meal that we can make from this fish sauce. Deal with the leftovers immediately. Don't hang on to them. That's when things get shoved in the back and they can spoil. So this has been right in the freezer since Christmas Eve night. I still have cookie trays to make up because we didn't see our immediate family for the holidays. So what I'm going to do is consolidate them now because we had a cookie tray for us here as a family, and now what I'm going to do is transfer this to here, which will give me more room in the freezer. And I also have to remember that New Year's is coming up. And so a nice cookie tray for New Year's after we give some away, because I even have more on the bottom here. As you can see, still have the peanut butter fudge that was in the freezer. So all this is going to be consolidated now to make more room in the freezer and yet still keep everything fresh and delicious. These are freezer-safe plastic containers. So I'm going to do that now. We had people drop us off food throughout the week. And what I did, because there was such an abundance coming in, what we did was we wrapped a lot and froze it. So here's a delicious looking fruitcake. Now, how I do this may not be how you do it. What works for us is to wrap it in plastic wrap and then in tin foil. For me, that keeps it freshest. My sister-in-law is from Italy, and she made us a big plate of struffoli, which we're leaving this out. We're eating off of that. So delicious. My brother's girlfriend dropped us off a loaf of homemade bread, again in plastic wrap, then in tin foil in our freezer. I know some people don't like using tin foil. For us, it works. Another dear friend made us a ton of these delicious hot cocoa bombs. Espresso, raspberry, peppermint. Aren't these amazingly beautiful? So what we're going to do is stick those in the refrigerator for when we need them. And what we're thinking of is using some for New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and then throughout the month of January, we have all these wonderful treats in the freezer. So that's just to give you a little idea how we took those foods and froze them immediately, how we wrapped them, what we're going to do with them. You don't want to waste food this time of year. And what happens is our refrigerators are packed. I know ours is. And you have to use them up before they spoil. Remember, the freezer is your friend. Get those items into your freezer so they stay fresh and you can use them at another time. And the last thing I want to leave you with, I want you to reevaluate your holiday. What did you love about it? What are you going to do exactly the same next year? What are you going to do differently? Jot that down, because now while it's fresh in your memory, you can look back on it in November, December of next year, God willing, and say, oh yeah, that cookie was not a hit. Or, yeah, my family didn't like that side dish. Or, oh my goodness, that bread was amazing. Write it down now while it's fresh in your memory. Reevaluate your holiday traditions. What worked for you this year? What didn't? And then next year we can go forward even having a more stress-free holiday season. We hope this video was encouraging to you. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you will give it a big thumbs up. Remember to come back Friday because it will be December 31st. And at that point, we're going to be jumping off our No Spend January with you. And we're also going to be picking our word of the year. You know we do that. We did it last year. So start thinking about a word you would like to embrace or cultivate for your life for the coming 2022 year. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you so much. Today's question of the day: what was the biggest win this year for your holiday season? I have to say for us, it was just being home, the three of us. It worked. We didn't foresee it being this way, but it turned out to be a total blessing. So what was your biggest blessing this holiday season? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. If you have not subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and come on and be part of our Frugal family. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that when Paul and I put out a new video, you will be notified immediately. So thank you again for being here. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, we wish you blessings. Bye-bye. See you in the next video.